red button means we're live. A casual take with your boy Stephen Pepper, here to give a take off my chest. So Aaron Rodgers, who is still a free agent, finally broke his offseason silence yesterday in his return to the Pat McAfee show. And in an entire 30 to 40-minute conversation, he basically said nothing. Like on one hand, he said, "Oh, I talked to Mike Tomlin and the Steelers and I like them, but I'm also considering retirement, just weighing my options here." Yeah, thanks for the update, Aaron. Appreciate it. So let me just say this, okay? Rodgers reminds me of a frat bro in his senior year who still wants to go to formal, but the only girl who wants to go with him is someone he doesn't necessarily find attractive. So he keeps putting her off in hopes that someone he does like becomes available. But as the days go by, his only other option is slowly turning into just not going at all. That's how I feel about Rodgers at the moment because I watched his Netflix documentary. I listened to the McAfee comments. I know that he still wants to play. Even at 41 going on 42 as a starting quarterback, he's not done. But man, I can tell he's not excited about doing it in Pittsburgh. But since his only option is why he's contemplating retirement. Because if he truly wanted to be a Steeler, he would have signed by now. He just would have. Now listen, I get he has personal issues going on. He said he's developing a serious relationship, and also two close people to him are dealing with serious issues that he wants to help resolve in fairness to a team before he commits to them. But you cannot convince me that if the Minnesota Vikings and Kevin O'Connell called him today and said, "Hey, we want you over JJ. We don't think he's quite ready," like he wouldn't immediately sign in Minnesota. Or let's just say for the sake of argument, because I don't believe this job is open, unlike some people in the media who are floating it out. But Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers say, "Hey, we want you over Purdy this season," like Rodgers wouldn't dash to San Francisco before the phone hung up. But since it's Pittsburgh and he doesn't 100% buy into what they got going on down there, he's weighing his options and contemplating retirement. That's it. And you know what? I don't blame Rodgers because he doesn't have to play. I think we have to understand Rodgers, 41, 42 years old, no one plays past 40 unlike Tom Brady. Rodgers could have retired 5 years ago. He's one of the 5 best quarterbacks ever. He doesn't have to go to Pittsburgh. He could just call it quits, start a family, whatever. Now, I don't want him to retire. I want him to end on a higher note because I think post Green Bay, some people are disrespecting his name. And I think that wasn't a high note in New York. But Pittsburgh, how high of a note is it ending in there after a season? Because you look around in Pittsburgh, offensively, they've been mid since prime Big Ben, and that's been about 10 years ago. They can't get the quarterback lost. They're quarterback right. They're completely lost. Their play calling is suspect. Like the fact that I saw them bench their first-round quarterback, Kenny Pickett, for Mason Rudolph in a road, poor condition playoff game. The fact that Matt Canada, as offensive coordinator, had as long as a leash as he did as OC speaks volumes to how this team just can't figure out offense. And, you could say what you want about Aaron Rodgers, his politics and stuff, but you can't be a 4-time MVP and a Super Bowl champ without having extremely high IQ on the offensive end. Rodgers sees what they have going on. And Rodgers doesn't completely just move him like a Minnesota would. And when he's on McAfee saying, "Hey, money doesn't matter to me. I'll play for like $10 million, whatever." That seems like Rodgers just telling teams like, "I won't mess up your cap. Just please take me." And it's a shot at Pittsburgh. But I'll say one thing about Rodgers. He has to be careful now. He can't overplay his hand. He doesn't have pocket aces. He doesn't have the nut flush. Rodgers 10 years ago, waiting around for a team, yeah, that's the best hand in the game. But Rodgers today, 40, 42 years old, he's got like a 2-pair, okay? It's not a great hand. He's an average quarterback. And average quarterbacks can't really wait around and weigh their options. Now, I'm the one who advocated on here that the Steelers should sign Aaron Rodgers because I think Rodgers has one good season left. Last year, he was top 10 in passing yards and touchdowns. But when you're 41 going on 42 and you're just an average mid quarterback, it's all downhill from here. So he can't wait this long because what he's doing on McAfee, what he's saying, how he's prolonging signing with the Steelers, who he toured for 6 hours, he's kind of embarrassing Pittsburgh. He's telling Tomlin and that organization that they're the ugly chick he doesn't want to go to formal with. And rather than later, I feel like Pittsburgh, the Rooneys, and Tomlin are going to see this and go like, hold on a second. Our franchise is tied for the most Super Bowls ever. We go to the playoffs like every year. We haven't had a losing season in 20 years. You're not going to treat us like this. The draft's next Thursday. We're picked, what is it, like 21 or whatever? We could very well just take Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, roll them out week 1, call today, and forget about you. Now, I don't think that's what they're going to do because I think even if they take a quarterback, they will be happy to bring in Rodgers as their week 1 starter if he commits. And I think Rodgers sees that. But man, let me know what you guys think. The fact that Rodgers toured them for 6 hours, he said, quote, to get a feel of the Steelers, and it's been 3 weeks since, and he hasn't signed, gives me all I need to know about how he feels about Pittsburgh. He's not moved by them. It doesn't get him excited. If Kevin O'Connell called him today, he would be a Viking. But he doesn't like what they got going on offensively in Pittsburgh. So his second best option right now, since there is only Suter, is retirement, and that's why he's weighing his options. But I appreciate everyone for tuning into this episode of A Casual Take. Follow my social media, stay updated on all things related to the show. Until next time, see you.